Hello, I'm Reverend Ruth Van Lillian. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of the Emerald Coast. We are a covenantal community founded on loving kindness and a common devotion to our free faith. We recognize all the earth as sacred ground, and we welcome each other into this virtual space. We especially welcome those visiting with us today. We are so glad you are here. We invite you to check our website and Facebook page to learn more about us. We hope to touch hearts, teach minds, challenge spirits, and comfort souls. May you find refreshment and restoration in our service today.
In the bleak cold of winter, we gather ourselves in to light the fire, to warm our spirits, to kindle the flame of love and hope.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to meet, make, and belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give, we have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer.
Hello, my name is Lisa Farley, and I'm a member at UUFEC. I'm going to share another story with you today. And if you know me, you know that pretty much every time I share a story, I say it's one of my favorites. And that's because they all are. I pretty much love children's literature more than adult literature. I feel like a lot of times I learn more from children's books, and they shine a light on really what's important to me. And this book is a perfect example of that. This book is called For Every Child. And this book is based on, in 1989, 54 principles were written at the UN Convention on the Rights of a Child. And 14 of those principles are illustrated in this story book. And actually, this is an out of print book that I kind of hunted for a while because I had read about it and I really wanted to have a copy. And if you ever get the chance to look at it, it has a nice foreword by Desmond Tutu. For Every Child. Forward. I'm going to go here. Whoever we are, wherever we live, these rights belong to all children under the sun and moon and stars. Whether we live in cities or towns or villages or in mountains or deserts, in valleys or forests or jungles. Anywhere and everywhere in the big wide world, these are the rights of a child. Understand that all children are precious. Pick us up if we fall down and if we are lost. Lend us your hand. Give us things we need to make us happy and strong. And always do your best for us whenever we are in your care. All children should be allowed to live and to grow and grow and grow until we are grown up and can decide things for ourselves. Max, Zara, Betty, Juan, Reza, Paulo, Yair, Yoko, Muhammad. Every one of us shall have a name and a land to call our own. Keep our families together, and if we have no family, look after us and love us just the same. And as I'm reading, if you look at the picture, there's each right that the picture and text is based on is in the corner on the one side. Allow us to tell you what we are thinking or feeling whenever our voices are big or small, whether we whisper or shout it, or paint, draw, mime, or sign it. Listen to us and hear what we say. No one on earth has the right to hurt us, not even our moms and dads. Protect us always from anyone who would be cruel. If we are disabled, either in body or mind, treasure us especially and give us the care we need to live happily in the world. Watch over us, wrap us up against the cold, and give us shade from the hot sun. Make sure we have enough to eat and drink. And if we are sick, nurse and comfort us. Teach us all to read and write, and teach us well so we grow up to be the best we can be at whatever we wish to do. Take care of our earth, the flowers, the trees, the rivers, the seas, and teach us how to care for it in our turn. And this page is about 2 different rights that were in the rights of a child. All children shall have time to play and time to rest when we are tired. In times of war, do not make us part of any battle, but shelter us and protect us from all harm. Allow us to say our own prayers in our own words, whether in churches or temples, synagogues or mosques, chapels or shrines, or any other place a prayer may be said to our own God. And let us sing and dance and dress in the way of our own people. Do your best to let everyone know that whoever we are, wherever we live, these are the rights of every child. And I love the illustrations in this book as well as the message. And it's another book that really helps me to remember what's important in life. So I hope you enjoyed it too. Have a great day.
Friends, as we consider the joys and the concerns of those in our community, let us spend a moment of silence together, and then I will close us with a few words from the Dalai Lama. Whether one is rich or poor, educated or illiterate, religious or non-believing, man or woman, or gender non-binary, black, white, or brown, we are all the same. We all aspire to happiness and we all shun suffering. Each of us has hopes, worries, fears, and dreams. Each of us wants the best for our family and for ourselves. We all experience pain when we suffer loss and joy when we achieve what we seek. On this fundamental level, religion, ethnicity, culture, and language make no difference. As you breathe in, cherish yourself. As you breathe out, cherish all beings. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Amen. Shalom. Blessed be.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and by this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and by this we live.
Our fellowship and our community need our financial support. If you're a member or a friend, old or new, you can send in your pledge or other contribution by check or online at uufec.com. Our fellowship also has a tradition we call Share the Plate. Every Sunday, the cash offering and the collection plate would be split evenly between the fellowship and a local charity. Online donations to Share the Plate are split in the same way. During the month of January, Share the Plate donations will be shared with Sharing and Caring of Fort Walton Beach. Sharing and Caring is an emergency food bank providing food staples, personal care items, and vouchers for prescription medications for for needy individuals and families. Thank you for your generosity.
Golden breaks the dawn, comes the eastern sun, over lake and lawn, sets its course to run. Birds above us fly, flowers bloom below. Through the earth and sky, life's great mercies flow. It's a new year, and it's time to unclutter, to clear out, to let the sun shine into the dark, hidden places. All of us have stored up stuff we no longer use or need. Some of it was useful once. Some of it may have been forced upon us and was never really used much at all. Some of it may have deep, sentimental meaning. Now, you have probably heard the suggested rules of dealing with clutter. Divide into 3 piles: what you use regularly, what you use occasionally, and what you haven't used in a very long time. Then you face the clutter, gird your loins, and get to work, right? My parents were both born in 1928 and grew up during the Great Depression, which was a time of doing without, or of the fear of doing without. They were both taught to never throw anything away. And they both followed this rule their whole lives. I once found a little paper bag in a drawer with 4 copies of the front door key. When I tried them in the lock, none of them worked because they hadn't been cut properly. When Mama told me she'd been holding on to them for 3 years, I was incredulous. Well, she said, just in case. You mean it's better to have keys that don't work than no keys at all? She thought about it a second and then said yes, and she took the bag from my hand with some irritation and put it back in the drawer. Sadly, I must confess that Mr. and Mrs. Van also taught this rule to their kids. Yes, it is true. I am a Depression baby 1 generation removed, and it is hard for me to get rid of stuff. When each of my parents died, I was left with the task of sorting through the accumulated clutter of their lives. I found some fascinating things. Souvenirs and photos from the 1940s New York World's Fair, which Mama attended when she was 12. 100 or so unlabeled photos from Korea and Japan, when Dad served as a 19-year-old detective with the military police between World War II and the Korean conflict. An uncashed check made out to my mother from an old boyfriend she dated briefly in the amount of $1 million. An engagement ring engraved to the girl who turned Dad down, thank goodness, before my parents met. The small plaster cast removed from my little sister's leg about a year before she died of leukemia. These were shadows from the past, from each of their lives, which they had been unwilling to let go of, and yet had not looked at in many, many years. They had not looked because they had been busy living in the present, and too busy to spend exhaustive hours poring over the past. And the thought of facing and getting rid of these items was just too painful. Our lives are very full, and it is certainly a sign of our prosperity and privilege that our houses are full also of stuff. We live in the tension between the desire and need for space and the compulsion to fill it. I believe this applies to our inner spiritual lives as well. Many of us have been taught to fear space or emptiness in our lives in any way, the same way we seem to fear an empty room in our house. We fill the quiet spaces with noise and stimuli, don't we, trying to stuff every corner of our minds as if filling the space would bring us peace from our fears and losses. My friends, this is an illusion. In fact, what we know about emptiness and solidity in the physical world may point toward the spiritual self-deception. This sturdy, functional, wooden pulpit is very solid. See? It's solid. To me, it feels solid. Oh, wow. Look at that. A Unitarian Universalist minister pounding the pulpit. I think I'll do it again. Oh, that's fun. Most of us know that what appears to be solid is actually full of space. Scientists will back me up here. At the molecular level, the atomic and subatomic particles, which make up the solid-feeling pulpit, are moving in space. There's actually more space in this pulpit than there are particles. There is more emptiness here than there is stuff. The solidity is an illusion. Now, imagine my hall closet. Remember my saving tendencies. It's that kind of closet where stuff gets put because I can't think of a better place to put it, or I am too busy to put it where it really belongs. Stuff gets thrown in there when guests are coming, and then lingers long afterward. If you open my closet suddenly, things fall out of it. You would definitely think there is no emptiness in my closet, that it is stuffed solid. Now consider the closet of your mind and spirit. In an essay entitled Beautiful Snowflakes, the Buddhist teacher Norman Fisher writes, "From the first time I encountered the word in English, I liked the sound of it. Emptiness. Some would find it chillingly abstract, even scary. But I took to it immediately. I knew what emptiness was. I remember once at the beginning of my Buddhist practice, wandering in the woods during a blizzard, drifting snow piled 2 feet high, chanting the Heart Sutra, form is emptiness, emptiness, form, over and over again. In the snow, with trees, bushes, and ground covered in white, 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 and the sky white with whiteness falling down, the sutra's meaning was perfectly clear. The logic of emptiness is wonderfully airtight. Like all simple truths, its clarity is immediately self-evident. We are. And there is no moment in which we are separate and apart. We are always connected to past, to future, to others, to objects, to air, earth, sky, every thought, every emotion, every action, every moment of time has multiple causes and reverberations, tendrils of culture, history, hurt, and joy stretch out mysteriously and endlessly. Now, what I take from this is that emptiness is as much a part of our inner selves as the space between the molecules is a part of our physical selves. We are constructed physically and spiritually of emptiness. Emptiness is our form, and our form is emptiness. But most of us have a certain discomfort with that, and so we try to fill this emptiness, thinking that emptiness is a bad thing. While the external accumulation of stuff in our houses is a challenge most of us face from time to time, I am interested this morning in what I'm going to call spiritual clutter. Since there are no adults in this fellowship who were born here, I feel it's safe to say that we all brought some spiritual clutter with us when we walked in the door. Each of us had already been indoctrinated with theology and religious tradition and practice which has deeply affected our inner selves as well as our outer connections. Even folk who come from no church experience have still picked up religious ideas from our not-so-secular culture. I'll demonstrate. What have we all been taught that the Jewish Christian God looks like? Think of Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel painting, right? The old white dude with the long flowing hair. And where are we told that bad people go after they die? And where is heaven? Good people are blessed by God and bad people are punished, right? See how indoctrinated we are, and what we probably all agree is false doctrine. This is some of the clutter that crowds our inner emptiness. Many of us also bring hurt from past spiritual injury. Some of us were taught our very nature is sinful and deserving of constant rebuke and chastisement. Those are old religious words: rebuke, chastise, shun, punish, mortify. Isn't it interesting how many of those injuries are related to ourselves as sexual beings? Most of us have learned to feel shame about our bodies and about our sexuality. Some of us have been made to feel less than fully human because of whom we may be attracted to and whom we may love. What other destructive ideas are cluttering our inner space? Perhaps some ideas about the value of human life as relative. Is your mind cluttered with ideas about some people being of greater value than others based on markers like race or culture, on sexual orientation or gender identity, on education or apparent intelligence, on wealth or status? We have been indoctrinated directly or vicariously with such prejudices, which we intellectually reject, and yet, like keys that don't fit, we keep some of them tucked away in mental closets and drawers. My spiritual director of some years ago used to say, "Ruth, it's all grief." He helped me to see whether one is occupied on things of the past or worrying over current issues or fearing what may be coming in the future. It's all a kind of grief. We grieve our losses, obviously, and we grieve over what might have been, over missed opportunities and paths not taken. We also grieve in anticipation of more of the same. Such grief clutters our inner space. So it's a good time in the new year to clear out the inner closets. I encourage you to take some time, some quiet time, and spread out before your mind's eye this inner stuff, and ask yourself the clutter questions with a spiritual twist. What ideas are still healthy and useful for me? What ideas are not healthy or useful, which I have trouble letting go of? What old ideas and messages have some kind of sentimental attraction but no longer serve who I am now? Norman Fisher continues, "Where can you appreciate the flavor of emptiness on the tongue? You know immediately, without meditation, that love is the only way, and that everything is love and nothing but love. What a pleasant thing to hold in mind. All problems, all joys, all living, all dying, it's all love. Now, we throw the word love around so much we risk losing the meaning. Let us consider carefully what Fisher is saying. Once we begin to see and appreciate the emptiness that is the reality amidst all that seems solid and real, we can begin to understand that the only thing that need occupy the space of our hearts, our minds, our spirits, our lives is love. Okay, I know some of you are thinking your minister has wandered off into some weird, esoteric, idealized place where saintly ascetics go to sit cross-legged and contemplate their navels. We are real people living in the real world. It can't all be love all the time. There are jobs to be done and bills to pay and cleaning and cooking and fixing and driving and sleeping, and how can it all be love? Well, it can, really. Love can be the spirit in which all the business of life can be accomplished. The groceries are bought and cooked because we love our families and ourselves and we care for physical health. The trash goes out because we love each other and do not want to live in an unhealthy and unpleasant environment. Our work serves some useful purpose which communicates a love of humanity in some form. It's easier to see that in some jobs than in others, I grant you. In our waking and our sleeping and all our interactions and all our living, it is indeed all love, if we pay attention to it. If you keep only love in your inner emptiness, you'll find it actually takes up no room. Your inner self will be wonderfully, peacefully empty and filled with love simultaneously. Oh, I know, the clutter will creep back in just as it does in our homes. Accumulating and letting go is a lifelong process. But it's a new year, and it's a good time to open up our inner closets, to get that clutter out and let the sun shine into our deep inner spaces. When we empty it all out, we'll find plenty of space to fill again with love. Amen. Shalom. Blessed be. Golden breaks the dawn, comes the eastern sun, over lake and lawn, sets its course to run. Birds above us fly, flowers bloom below. Through the earth and sky, life's great mercies flow. As the spinning globe rolls away the night, nature wears a robe spun of morning light. Dawn break in me too, as in skies above. Teach me to be true, fill my heart with love.
It is our work shared with each other in covenant that creates and sustains this beloved community. We extinguish this chalice, but its light lives on. in the directions we have chosen today. The light of this faith lives on in us together, in our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits. Amen and blessed be.
Siblings and kindred, in this new year, let us unclutter our inner selves. Let us empty ourselves of what we do not need, that we may be filled again with love. Go in peace. Amen. Shalom. Blessed be.
Shalom.